came to this area from Goodhue County in 1865, where there was a big need to have woolen products, especially carding services to clean and straighten wool fibers. So he began his business on 2nd Avenue, right across from the Rice County Courthouse, 1865. He was there for a number of years, and about that same time he started selling wool batting products, as well as having the service of the cleaning and carding wool. They started getting a little bit more business and more business. In the 1880s, they built a mill down on 3rd Street by the Straight River, and that was a pretty big move for them. Sometime after that, a few years after they built that facility out of limestone by the river, they built an office building on 2nd Avenue and 4th Street. At that time, it was a very, very busy thoroughfare. A lot of window shopping.
Yeah.
So they sold a lot of the products, blankets and whatnot there, batting. They also sewed wool uniforms there for a time. The only thing missing in that building was a stairway down to the basement where the bathrooms were.
Oh.
I spoke with an old timer about that. He remembered it. But so sometime after the woolen mill burned down by the Straight River, around 1892, Carl Clemmer was looking around for a new site for a facility, and this one was available. The water power was already in here, the dam and everything. This was a burned out flour mill.
Really?
And so Carl got his workers in here and cleaned up the site, and the Cowell Brickyard supplied him, Clemmer, with all the bricks to build a new facility here. Okay. And it's been here ever since 1892. About 4 or 5 years ago, part of my job is enrichment programming, and I decided to pull together all the woolen mill employees that were left in the area, and we hosted a series of 3 or 4 coffee hours, and this was while the mill was shut down, and there was no real thought of it opening again. What resulted from that was a whole body of research from all these former employees that came in. And I interviewed quite a few, and we published some of the stories in the Woolen Mill Memory Book, and that's a free publication for anybody that wants it. But anyway, the outgrowth of that research resulted in the book, and some of the more fascinating things I discovered in the research were all the French families that were employed here in the early part of 1910 through the 20s and 30s. There was probably 3 or 4 generations of the same French families that were employed here, and a lot of them, Mary Boudreau is one of those folks. She's been here 50 or 60 years working, and her relatives started here in the 20s. So it's pretty neat to see that lineage and all the stories that they have.
Can you talk about why the woolen mill initially shut down in the beginning and why that was closed between then and with this new carnation of it?
Oh, sure. There was a lot of factors that went into the mill closing. Initially, over all the years that the Clemmer and Johnson families managed the mill, they were pretty wise with their resources. They didn't go out on a limb and buy all the newest technology. So they played it pretty close to the best, where they didn't get stressed out financially. That was before Walmart came in, and with all the cheap foreign blankets.
Yeah.
So anyway, what happened was there was many investors that came in, and slowly Clemmers got out of the business, and many different investors came in, and as you know, they all have different ideas
Sure.
about how they want it run. There was a lot more overhead
Yeah.
to run the business, excuse me,
Yeah.
and the cost of the blankets were prohibitive
Sure.
compared to what was available at Walmart,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
So between the management and a kind of unfocused business plan,
Sure.
in answer to the question about the future they have here, the Moody's have brought in a different culture in business here.
Sure.
They run probably the most efficient mill in the country. You know, they recycle warm water. They do a lot of different things with the heating and cooling that are more efficient, which helps them in turn maybe keep the cost down of running the business and the final end product cost. They're really smart about utilizing marketing technology, like with the internet and social media. I mean, you go in and Google Faribault Woolen Mill, and you won't have all day. You won't be able to read all the returns on that on the internet. So they're really pretty smart businessmen.